5 out of 10 men in my family have been shot. I've lost 40 friends to gun violence, including my best friend when we were only 10. While spendings on prisons skyrocketed, the cycles of violence continue to plague too many communities of color. There's no shortage of resources. It's just that too little is invested in helping victims or our hardest hit communities. So what's wrong with this picture? Is it the justice system to blame? Or is it the endless problems that our prison facilities continue to face? The time the war on drugs launched was the spark to a major increase in prison population. From the years of 73 to 2013, the prison population exploded from 300,000 to almost 2.2 million. With that many prisoners, it began forcing states to give early release to limit overcrowding. In just Illinois alone, overcrowding has increased to almost 4,000 more inmates, the equivalent to a large prison. The estimated cost equal to about $1.3 billion. Another major issue that is causing a great strain on our prison systems, along with the overcrowding, is the immense prison budget. Studies show that the vast prison budget in America is roughly equal to $80 billion a year. To make matters worse, almost half of incarcerated people are there for nonviolent offenses, about 48%. According to the John Howard Association, an organization promoting public safety through cost-effective prison programs, research shows that when low-level nonviolent offenders are incarcerated instead of given supervised release, they are more likely to commit new crimes once they get out of prison. Despite the major problems seen within our prison systems today, there have been a few solutions that are stemming throughout the country in regards to prison reform. To reduce the population and costs of prisons, California has passed Proposition 47 in 2014, which reduces specific low-level offenses to misdemeanors. Proposition 47 also created a Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Fund, using the savings accrued by the state, which estimated about $150 to $250 million a year, and distributing that to numerous departments throughout the community. Legislations like that passed in California has made its way over to the Midwest, when Illinois has just recently passed a few laws in regards to reform and helping to lower the prison population and the prison costs. Laws such as the Illinois State Commission in Sentencing Reform, which has a goal to reduce the prison population by 25% in the year of 2025. Also, the Criminal Best Practicing Acts, which introduces best practices to facilitate re-entry for individuals leaving incarceration and reduce recidivism rates. It also follows the heels on the passage of the Neighborhood Safety Act. Also, does it expand eligibility of rehabilitation programs in the Illinois Department of Corrections. The solutions that have been growing and spreading throughout America all have one organization in common. That is the Alliance for Safety and Justice.
What's driving mass incarceration? New policies that send more people to prison and keep them locked up longer. The cruel twist is that these policies can actually make us less safe. Sending someone to prison removes them from their families, jobs, and social supports, making it even harder for them to succeed and remain crime-free. And the longer the incarceration, the lower the chances of success upon release. A recent study found that each additional year of incarceration increases recidivism by 4 to 7%. In fact, study after study has shown that increasing incarceration rates doesn't make us safer. According to the National Academies of Science, which issued the most definitive research on incarceration to date, lengthy prison sentences are ineffective as a crime control measure. The reduction in crime can be attributed to a number of things, but today's historic and unprecedented levels of incarceration is not one of them. But this massive prison expansion is destabilizing communities. The communities most harmed by crime and violence are also the least supported by the criminal justice system. Spending on prison has more than tripled and now costs the U.S. taxpayers $80 billion each year. Every dollar wasted on prisons could be spent on other priorities like drug and mental health treatment, job training, infrastructure, or education. Prison spending has grown 7 times more than higher education. So if mass incarceration is costing us billions and failing to reduce crime, why are we still doing it? To stop the cycle of crime, we don't need more incarceration. We need investments in new safety priorities rooted in treatment and community health. We need to focus on preventing crime and providing victims with support. Join the Alliance for Safety and Justice today and find out how you can help advance new safety priorities in your state.
This national organization aims to win new safety priorities in states across the country. The Alliance for Safety and Justice partners with leaders and advocates to advance state reform through networking, coalition building, research, education, and advocacy. The Alliance also works to bring together diverse crime survivors to advance policies that help communities most harmed by crime and violence.
What does it mean to be shameless and put our shoulders back and then learn to tell our stories in a way to have the solution embedded in it and then go demand that solution? I am so excited about that. That is what we are going to build together.
I feel so humbled, to be a part of such a powerful movement that has changed so many lives. And also, that has literally changed the narrative in the state, and now we're about to change the whole narrative in the country around who victims are and what victims want, and how we leverage our collective voice to make change in our neighborhoods.
Survivors speak.
Survivors speak.
Survivors speak.
A member and advocate for the Alliance stated, "The current criminal justice system one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work for low-income communities of color. Instead of jails and prisons, we need more emphasis on rehabilitation to help people turn their lives around." All of the work and support that the Alliance has gained would definitely not be possible without the great donations of other organizations and people who want to help support the foundations and those unjustly affected by the way our prison system is run today. What does that mean for us? For those living in St. Louis, being in an area where crime rate may be high, but the attention is low. As students from a Jesuit university with a mindset of service and social justice, it is our duty to be mindful and open to help change the ways in which our prisons are being run today. The wheels are turning, and with the help of the donations from you, it can lead to a future in prisons and justice that we are all proud of.
On August 24th, 2009, I became a victim of gun violence.
I was sexually abused as a kid.
I was shot as an 18-year-old young man, just becoming a young father.
My brother was murdered at the age of 17, just a kid.
I was taken from my family without my parents' consent.
I sit here before you today as a survivor who used to be a victim. I'm no longer a victim. I'm victorious.
We're not our experiences. Our experiences only inform who we become. They don't define who we are.